This is a story of Tres Amigos' tour of the Yucatan Peninsula. Day 1, Tuesday, October 16th, 2013. This was a trip that had many miracles, but started with a messy rental car problem at the Cancun airport. John arrived first and won the race to get the beers at the airport bar, waiting for Kurt and Joel. They arrived at Terminal 2. We missed each other. We waited for an hour. Kurt rented a car for $100 a week and ended up paying $400 for it. So, Joel screamed as loud as he could. John heard him, grabbed his beers and the bag of ice, and jumped across the hedge, joined Joel, and jumped in the rental car, and they took off to Chichen Itza. The drive time from Cancun Airport to Chichen Itza was about 2 hours on Highway 180D, the toll road. Dinner on night 1 was at the Restaurante at Villas Arqueológicas at Chichen Itza. It was a short walk from the villas to the ruins of Chichen Itza, where we took a 2-hour tour of the amazing ruins with tour guide, the Turtle.
Primavera, mucha lluvia, yo digo el verano, mucho sol, yo digo el otoño, mucho viento, yo digo el invierno, hace frío, yo digo primavera, mucha lluvia, yo digo el verano, mucho sol, yo digo el otoño, mucho viento, yo digo el invierno, hace frío, primavera, lluvia alrededor, el verano, como hace calor, el otoño, las hojas cambian de color, el invierno, hace frío, la primavera, lluvia alrededor, el verano, como hace calor, el otoño, las hojas cambian de color, el invierno, hace frío, la primavera, lluvia alrededor, el verano, como hace calor, el otoño, las hojas cambian de color, el invierno, hace frío. Buenos días, ¿cómo estás? Buenos días, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien, gracias. ¿Y usted? Good night.
The tour was hot, and after the tour we returned to the hotel for a swim in the beautiful hotel pool right next to the dining area.
Buenos días, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien.
On the second day we drove to Merida. On the way we stopped at a little village named Peace Day for a sidewalk grilled chicken purchased from a local family.
Buenos días, ¿cómo estás? Buenos días, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien, gracias. ¿Y usted? Now we're gonna do it really, really quiet. Watch my friends do it quiet. Buenos días, ¿cómo estás? Buenos días.
The car was parked in Old Town in a private lot, and we walked to a sidewalk restaurant for beers. There we met Ernie. He was just like Ernesto, the taxi driver in Belize City. He adopted us and became our guide. He recommended the Hotel Reforma, which had a pool, private parking, and a breakfast of bad coffee and plain bread.
¿Cómo estás?
Ernie provided a tour of Merida by a horse cart, which was great. Seeing the Plaza Grande, the Palazzo de Gobernador, the Cristo de las Ampollos, which is the Christ of Blisters Church, and he promised nightlife and fun, but he ended up being a boring companion.
Aquí empieza la canción del día. Empezamos en la madrugada. Ya estamos listos. Buenos días, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? Manos arriba, manos arriba, manos de paz, manos de paz. Hola, 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 amigo, hoy será un día bonito. Hola, 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 amigo, hoy será un día bonito. Qué mañana tan divertida, ¿eh? Comimos el almuerzo y ahora viene la tarde. Cantemos juntos. Buenas tardes, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? Manos arriba, manos arriba, manos de paz, manos de paz. Hola, 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 amiga, hoy será una tarde bonita.
Day 3, Thursday, April 17, 2013. It was an early morning walk to Starbucks on Paseo de Montejo. Then another swim in the hotel pool, check out, and head over to Walmart, where we found Joel some homemade tamales, which we took back to the car to have for lunch, where Kurt was guarding, and we had fresh fruit with a local street vendor. Then we headed to Progreso, a beach town 30 miles north of Merida. It had cloudy seawater, dirty beach, and was super hot. Then we met Hillary Keys back in Merida at the 100% Natural Restaurante for healthy Mexican food. And Hillary recommended that on our way back to Cancun, we go to a lovely beach town called Mahahual. At night, we stayed at the lodge at Uxmal, which had very beautiful large rooms with a large circular pool and an island of palm trees in the center of the pool. Again, it was a short walk from the hotel to the ruins for a 2-hour guided tour by Jorge. Headed to Uxmal ruins on the way to the city of Campeche. Uxmal is a smaller ruin than Chichen Itza, but is very interesting. One of the special displays was an outdoor concrete platform approximately 12 by 12 by square with large 8 to 10 each diameter carved stone penises. Supposedly the queen of whatever country was occupying the Yucatan at the time did not approve of large concrete carvings of penises in the old ruins buildings, so she had them removed and hidden away. Later someone discovered them and set them up in a special place outside the buildings. Day 4, Friday, April 18th, 2013. Driving toward Campeche, stopping for lunch at Santa Elena at the Pickled Onion, which had a pool restricted to guests of the rooms only. So we drove on after lunch toward Campeche on the Gulf of Mexico, which is a large city without any beaches. Then we drove south toward Champotón, and on the way stayed at Hotel Tucán Sijo Playa, with a pool, a nice room, and a tiny beach. Dinner was somewhere else at Coco Paraiso, with a waitress, Alma, who spoke too fast to understand Spanish or English, but had good margaritas and good ceviche. Day 5, Saturday, April 19th, 2013. In the morning, an unremarkable breakfast, and then drove through Escarcega to the city of Bacalar Laguna for lunch with margaritas and a huge plate of seafood. The beach at the Laguna was filled with local people swimming and picnicking. Then on to Mahahual and the 40 Cannons Hotel. The hotel at Mahahual was the 40 Cannons, named after a famous ship. It had nice rooms, but small. Beautiful beach on the Malecon, where you could walk from one end of town to the other and rent bikes right at the hotel. Kurt and John played volleyball in the ocean with new friends from Merida, Julius Caesar and Caesar Augustus, father and son. Kurt and John went biking and had a crash with Kurt's bike because it was an old piece of junk, cruiser bike. Then Kurt went scuba diving at Louis. Kurt and John had a catamaran trip with Luis, the dive master, at Cabana. Then Kurt came back the next day and did a scuba dive. And while scuba diving, the dive master shot and speared a lionfish, so we could see how ugly they are, or beautiful depending on how you look at such an invasive species. On night 7, we stayed at Acamal at Nancy's, and then went to the bar.
Hola, 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 amiga. Hoy será una noche bonita.
Where they had the tree houses, and out of one of the tree houses came a lady in a thong and went swimming in the beach. The last dinner was at Que Anda, Q-U-E, second word O-N-D-A, Spanish for that wave. John had the best dinner, curry shrimp fettuccine, and a caprese salad.
Buenas noches, buenas noches, buenas noches, yeah.